What is up, my friends? Welcome along to tonight's late night agenda, where I think you'll agree with me, one topic of conversation is going to be where we're at tonight. And that is, of course, the news that Al Ittihad are looking to bring Mohamed Salah over to Saudi Arabia in this transfer window. So, like everybody else, I've got a lot of questions. There's a lot of stuff we need to get through tonight. And I'm on time, so that should probably let you know that it's serious. The fact that I'm here starting on time. In these situations, I look for a few things. A response from the club, a response from the player side, and so far we've not had either. Not unusual, granted. Liverpool probably don't want to comment publicly on some of these things. Something that's worried me all day is the lack of a response from Rami Abbas or Mohamed Salah himself to rubbish these claims. Now that may not mean anything. Rami Abbas might be busy. Mohamed Salah could be preparing for the game of the weekend. I truly don't know. Uncertainty breeds negativity and doubt. And right now, Liverpool fans have a lot of uncertainty going on. And I guess tonight, that's what I come in here for. To try and figure out what to believe, what not to believe, what might be possible, and what we should expect. This video is sponsored by Manscaped, the best in men's grooming. Manscaped is known for their elite bald skills, a little bit like myself. But with the beard hedger, they're helping people notice that pretty face too. Our friends at Manscaped are now focusing on their off-the-ball movement with their Beard Hedger Pro Kit. The Beard Hedger face trimmer is a waterproof, cordless trimmer which has 20 hair cutting lengths, all with just one guard, so no more messy drawers full of extra add-ons. The trimmer has a titanium-coated T-blade which is tough on hair but smooth on your face. Just because Manscaped have moved away from the groin doesn't mean they've lost track of the ball, unlike Joe Gomez. They still have the Lawnmower 4.0, the best hygiene tool to help you keep the grass on the pitch the perfect length. The Lawnmower 4.0 ceramic blade reduces cuts and nicks in your most sensitive areas. Unlike me, the trimmer's battery lasts 90 minutes, meaning you could shave your nether regions the length of an entire match if you wanted. You can get a wide range of packages and products at manscaped.com. What's more, you can get 20% off and free delivery using our code Anfield20 at manscaped.com. Celebrate the new season of the beautiful game with your newly beautiful balls and face. I don't know why they say newly beautiful. My face is always beautiful. Look at it. It's amazing. It's another distraction. So before we get stuck into the rights and wrongs of this, who's to blame, what we should expect, let me just put one thing out there to everybody in the chat before we get underway. Regardless of what happens with the Mohamed Salah situation, whether it's nonsense, whether he moves or whatever, regardless of all of that, one thing we have to keep here is we have to keep the pressure on the owners. Because what we cannot allow to happen is this situation to dictate the media, fan opinion, and most importantly, time between now and the transfer window closing. FSG would love nothing more, I would suggest, than to see this Mohamed Salah stuff drag out to the end of the window, keep hold of the player, but have distracted us enough that we somehow feel grateful at the end of the window for Mo staying and them keeping Saudi at bay, but not getting the players that we need. So that's the first thing I want to say tonight. Don't let this distract you. This has got to be solid focus from us fans on them doing the right thing, which is buying players. So above all else, we still need reinforcements. Could be an FSG distraction? No. This has got nothing to do with FSG. FSG aren't going to invent this entire scenario. I'll give them that much. They might milk it, they might use it to their advantage, but I in no way believe that they started it. Why are we even entertaining Salah leaving this summer? He isn't going anywhere. To answer your question, we're entertaining it because it hasn't been denied. That's why. And not only has it not been denied, many people in the media are suggesting, and I'm talking about on the UK and the European side, are suggesting that Mohamed Salah is weighing up the offer. I truly have no idea. I'm not close to Mohamed Salah. I don't know how he's feeling. Here's where I am, and I said I was going to wait for the chat to fill up before I give you my perspective on this situation. So let me start off by saying one thing that I mean with sincere respect to Mohamed Salah. I'm getting sick of this. I'm fed up. Every single window there's a drama. Whether it's 2 or 3 windows and during the season about his wages and the standoff between the club and the player on that was a distraction. Whether it was the stuff between himself and Mane after the AFCON and one of them qualifying for the World Cup or not, that was a distraction. When he met up with the PSG president after the Bournemouth game last season for lunch publicly, that was a distraction. And now, when we're in a very, very pivotal point in the transfer window, once again, we have a distraction. Now, people are going to say, Craig, he hasn't caused this distraction. Mohamed Salah is going about his work. Yes, that's why I said respectfully at the start. But he can shut it all down. Very simply, I am not moving. Nothing is making me leave Liverpool in this window. Him or his agent, and this is all put to bed. But as I sit here today, I haven't seen that. And that's why people are getting worried. Because as I mentioned at the start of this stream, uncertainty leads people to worry. And when we haven't got Mohamed Salah or his agent coming out and absolutely saying unequivocally that this isn't happening, you're going to continue to have the doubters. Now, Sky Sports have put this at the head of their website, Salah Al-Ittihad offer, and I don't know what the future holds for Mo. You are talking about an ungodly amount of money here. The plan is apparently to make him the highest paid player in the Saudi Pro League, ahead of the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo and Neymar. So, big money. That's why I think a lot of us are a bit worried right now. Because none of us trust John W. Henry, let's be honest. And yes, anyone who says there's no time in the window to replace him, you're absolutely spot on. But here's the kicker. This won't stop on September the 1st. Because their window is open for a week after our window closes. So we may think we come around to September 1st and Mohamed Salah still at Liverpool, that's the end of it. I don't think it is. Because they don't like the word no. They're not used to the word no. They keep throwing more and more money at a situation, and I don't care who you are, or how strong-willed you are, or how nice a guy you are. Everybody has a number. Everybody. And we just need to hope they don't get to that number. The number that makes John W. Henry say yes. The number that makes Mo go, you know what, I want this. And until we know the answers to those questions, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty right now. If Salah left, have we enough quality up front? No, we don't. We wouldn't be as bad as we may be in other positions, because we do have 4 other very, very capable forwards. But we are talking about our talisman. We're talking about the 4th or 5th highest goal scorer in Liverpool's history, and he's still playing. We're talking about the highest paid player in the club's history. And until he rubbishes it, this uncertainty is going to stay. Saudi and Todd Bowley cannot accept the word no, said Colin. Agent already said he's not going 3 weeks ago. Yes, you didn't listen to me though. It's been doubled since then, mate. Doubled. So somebody says to me, Craig, I want to buy your car, and here I want to give you the value of the car. And I say, nah, no interest. I like the car. It's not giving me any trouble. But then they come back to me 2 weeks later and say, Craig, I want to give you twice what the car is worth. I'm going to start listening. And that's where we're at right now. I've got to be honest and say I'm absolutely sick to my back teeth of the distractions. This is turning into our version of the Paul Pogba nonsense that United had. And look, again, you can say it's not Mohamed Salah's fault. But he's not doing anything to discourage it at the minute either. I don't know about you, but I find that a little bit disturbing. Like I did when he was pictured with the PSG president having that lunch. That was nonsense. Never should have happened. And it hasn't gone away. And they've made no secret of the fact that they'd love to have Mohamed Salah in the Saudi Pro League. He's one of the biggest Muslim athletes in the world. Understandable that they would want him in their league. So it's going to come down to what Mo wants. And make no bones about it. It will come down to what Mo wants. If Mo wants out, they'll find a way to get him out. Liverpool will eventually cave. I thought this conversation was going to happen next summer, and I think most of you guys and girls out there probably did as well. But right now, it's a here and now problem. And as I mentioned, their window stays open a week longer than our window, meaning they can still come in to try and destabilise after our window slams shut. Salah only considering the move because of FSG's lack of ambition. Surely if we'd made signings early, then it doesn't happen. That came from Nick. And Nick, you've a very fair point. A very fair point. This is what I've said all along. How do you expect to keep great players if you are going out there and showing no ambition, zero. And that's what our owners have done again. In this window, we're somehow sitting on a net spend of about, I think it's about 40 odd million, something like that, maybe a bit higher, in a generation changing window, a rebuild of a second team, a whole new midfield. And John W. Henry and FSG are taking the piss out of us once again. But I guess, what's the price? Because it's all very well and good telling us what Salah might get paid. That Salah could be earning more money than Ronaldo or whatever, but what's it going to be worth to Liverpool? The Saudi Pro League window closes, thank you Connor for sending me this, on September the 20th. So even more, it's 19 days after our window closes. So it gives them plenty of time to continue. So it would almost be in our interest, if we were going to cave in, to do it while the window's open, rather than do it when the window's shut, we can't do anything about it. So 3 things here. Either Liverpool refuse to sell, continue and Mo plays. Liverpool refuse to sell, Saudi come back in after our window closes with an offer that's too good for everyone to turn down, the club take it and we're without a player. Or we agree a fee with Saudi now for Mohamed Salah, he moves and Liverpool have time to get a replacement. They're the 3 options as I see it. Mike Pango said 200 million minimum for Salah. I want 250 million spent next summer. I don't care what FSG have to say. Back Klopp with what he deserves. So again, I want to just reiterate to everybody, don't let this distract you, because whatever happens with Mo will happen. But we still need a defender and a midfielder, and we need that before any of these shenanigans. So I'm going to give you a little bit of news on Hincapie shortly, because there has been some news today around him. Positive news, I should say. So we'll get to that in a few moments' time. But I'm just angry. I'm really angry at the minute, lads. What's the number for Salah that you'd sell? 100 mil, 150 mil, 200 mil, or 250 mil? Now, I've got to be honest. I don't see the number getting anywhere near 200 million. I don't. And let's be honest about this. He's not worth 200 million quid. But neither was Caicedo worth 115. Neither was Enzo worth 106. Neither was Rice worth 100. So maybe I'll be surprised. What I've noticed from the Saudi deals is that they're willing to give humongous sums of money to the players, but the selling clubs aren't really getting absorbent fees. What they're doing now is they're saying to these players, look, I'll tell you what, come, join, sign the contract, and we'll give you 50% tax-free upfront in a lump sum. So 150 million upfront guaranteed the second you sign the contract, tax-free. And the rest over the course of your contract. So they are trying everything to get the big players across. And we know they have deep pockets. So if you're Liverpool, there will be a number. And I don't care what anyone says. There will be a number. Just will they get to that number? Right, so on Hincapie, couple of bits and pieces. So we've known that there's been interest in the Bayer Leverkusen defender from Liverpool, from West Ham and from RB Leipzig. We've seen numbers go from £35 million up to £60 million. Now Ben Jacobs has been writing lately and a couple of others have been talking as well. And he said Hincapie would love a move to the Premier League. Still no offers received from Bayer Leverkusen. He could be available for just £35 million. Anything around this price, and I understand Hincapie would push for a move. So keep an eye on that situation. £35 million would be excellent business, by the way, if we could bring him in for that. So hopefully we see this move along, because again, as I said, we'll talk about Salah here most of the night, but we cannot lose focus on that. We need midfielder and a defender. We can't forget about that. Salah wanting to leave because of lack of ambition, said Gakul. And I understand that, Gakul. Truly, if Mohamed Salah came in tomorrow and said, you know what, I had every intention of staying at Liverpool. When I signed my new contract, I was told that the club were going to go out and rebuild and do it properly. I had every intention to stay. But having seen how the window's gone, and with this very generous offer coming my way, maybe I've changed my mind a bit. Could I understand that? Yes. Because the owners have shown no ambition. I've been screaming about that for a long time, and I'm just a fan. So if you're a player at the tail end of your career, and one, you're not in the Champions League, which, let's be fair, players like Mohamed Salah want to be and should be in the Champions League, but he was also part of that collective failure. I think he put that to bed and thought, okay, we all failed, fair enough. But he's not seen the ambition from the owners. So I couldn't blame him if he feels a little bit underwhelmed with what we've seen in this window. Salah has not ruled out any potential move and is yet to formally decline Al Ittihad's approach. That comes from Lewis Steele. Even if a potential exit doesn't come to fruition this summer, it's certainly one to watch for next year. James Bench on Twitter has said, Liverpool have no intention of selling Mohamed Salah. Then he asked the question, why are Al Ittihad trying to change their minds a year earlier than bids were expected? Two key factors, the looming Club World Cup and interest from Al Hilal. And he's a CBS journalist, I believe. So, yeah, maybe they don't want to lose him in a year's time to a rival in the Saudi Pro League. Maybe they want Mohamed Salah, one of the biggest Muslim athletes in the world, at their club. And they want the best chance of success in the Club World Cup as well. So, yeah, there are more factors at play here than you and I will probably just think of off the top of our heads. It's more than just football with Mohamed Salah and the interest in him. It's to do with his standing in the world, standing in the Muslim world, his superstardom as an athlete, the way he carries himself as a human being, of course, as well. Lots of other reasons. I don't want to say it's political, but it's not just sporting related, the interest to bring Mohamed Salah to the Saudi Pro League. Craig, do you remember when I said I was worried about Salah going to Saudi Arabia 4 weeks ago? You said PSG worried you more. I don't trust FSG not to sell. Well, PSG have had a big change of direction, to be fair, Carl. Their Galactico time is over now. They're, changing their stance and looking to do the bring in young, hungry players thing. So my worry about them has probably gone away, to be fair. But yeah, you did mention it 4 weeks ago. But I just didn't think... I thought when Rami Abbas put that to bed, that was the end of this. But it isn't. And it's going to go on until, once again, they rubbish it. I love Salah, but only want players that want to be here, play for the shirt. So if a decent offer comes in, I'll drive him to the airport myself, said Jake. My thing, Jake, is I'm just sick of it, mate. I'm just sick of the distraction. I used to laugh at United fans and, the Paul Pogba distractions. At least with Salah, we have a player that's performing. A player at the top of his game. A player that has shown season in, season out that he deserves to be spoken about in the highest regard. I don't know. I'm not going to lie. I'm worried. I'm very worried because, as one of our friends in the chat said earlier on, I don't trust these cowboy owners to replace him. Like, common sense would say, if you lost Salah, you go big for somebody like a Kvaratskhelia, an Osimhen, a Chiesa, even if you want to go a little bit more downstream, Rafael Leao at AC Milan. They're the statements that you should be looking to make.